We got. Yeah, we'll start over again. New American Liberty League. Listen, I know I don't have the face for videos or the voice for podcasts. So to the three of you great Americans that are going to hear this, I'm sorry. I am D. Hearn, Daniel Leonardo Hernandez. This is my son, Emil Alexander Hernandez, in whom I am well pleased. In the notebook today, the big topic we're going to get into Made in America. In the news, obviously, we got to talk about tariffs. Going to talk about why people are not going to jail yet and the marches that took place last week. In the capitalist pig section, we're going to get into the resilience of U.S. economy and markets. And in life, we're just going to talk about April in general as a month and all the great things that happened in April. Big topic for today. Made in America. What happened to the pride that we used to have in that as a nation? When I was growing up in our household with my dad and in our family, it was still a big thing. It was at that time that it was really starting to be phased out and people were fighting against it, warning us then in the 80s of exactly what we let happen over the last few decades. My dad always made it a big deal to still look for things that had that Made in America sticker on it. He had a Made in America tag on his work truck. We had Made in America decorations and decor in his office. Like, it was a big deal in our house. And over time, you know, you looked for every little thing made in America, and over time you just looked for the bigger things, the RCAs, the Zenith TVs, the cars, appliances. And now fast forward to 2025, and we barely do that. It's something that I myself have always looked for and take pride in. But if you look around my house and your house and almost every American's house, what in our homes is really made in America? We've talked about caring for 40 years and really haven't. Made in America still matters. It should matter to every nation that they buy goods made in their own countries, because it helps your nation. It is a sign of respect and appreciation for your nation, the people in your nation that build and make things with their own hands. Every nation should want things made by their own people, by their own hands. America is no different. Made in America has to mean something, needs to mean something, and maybe we're getting back to a time where it actually will mean something. Emil, Made in America. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it seems like we're moving more and more towards it, and I think that's an incredible thing. You talked about how you got to see it growing up in your generation. Something interesting about my generation is we've never got to see what Made in America looks like. Mm-hmm. We've only been used to these Chinese quality products and stuff like that. Whereas I think when things are more made in America, we're going to experience higher quality, maybe a little bit higher cost in the beginning, I'd have to assume. But eventually even that will taper back off to being at reasonable levels. And I think it's going to be very good for the job market if all of these jobs that are happening in China start coming over to America, especially due to AI now being about to take jobs. We sort of need an influx of jobs over here, it feels like.
Let's get into that aspect of it, of that a little more in the news category also when we talk about tariffs.
Okay.
Made in America. Is it something you look for personally? Do you look for it in bigger items? I know we're always big about Fords and stuff like that, but is that a concept you're talking about, just the difference in generations? is that a concept that people your age have ever even thought about?
No, that includes me. I think outside of Fords, everything's
Just a
made in
big
China.
fan. Yeah.
Absolutely everything's made in China. So I don't go out of my way to look for anything else. Now I'm going to be a lot more because it seems like it's going to be possible to.
And it's in the news more now.
It's in the news, yeah.
Yeah, so
You can do it online.
Mhm.
I think that's always been an option to do it online. But if you go to like a local retail store, you're never finding Made in America. Pretty
never
much.
find it. Retailers, you listening? We need either more Made in America things in your stores or a Made in America store. Buy us. Buy us. Sponsor this half hour, since we're talking about things made in America. Ford of Tallahassee. I stopped going to Ford of Tallahassee for a long time because it got absolutely horrible. We got old town cars and old Fords. We just recently went back there. It's under new management. A friend of ours, Bill McKinney, owns it now. And it is 1,000 times better than it was on the service side. On the sales side, if you're thinking about buying American, if you're thinking about Lincolns or Fords, Tallahassee Ford. News, Emil, since we're on it, let's go ahead and get into the tariffs. They hit today. Today is the day they actually go into effect. They are no longer a rumor. All these things are over. We've seen the stock market adjust. We'll continue to see that over time. The rumor's over. They hit today. We know nations are going to come around to negotiate. Exactly what you were talking about manufacturing that we've sent overseas, especially to China, coming back. Pick up right on that and why you think it'll be good for America.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start off by saying I don't believe in tariffs under most situations. I think they're just a tax like everything else, when I hate taxes. But in this specific circumstance, when every country has massive tariffs on you and they're taking advantage of your economy, somehow you have to retaliate. And I think from the position of power, the best way to do that is by adding tariffs of your own, because you know that these countries can't live without the U.S. economy. We've already placed, I think it's 104% tariff on China, and there currently seems to be a little bit of a back and forth between China and America, just increasing tariffs on one another, which I think is a great thing for America at the end of the day. Certain things, like we mentioned earlier, medicine is probably going to be a big one that skyrockets for a little bit, but it'll taper back off. And with these other countries, Israel was the one I heard of. I think it's absolutely ridiculous of Israel to have tariffs on us. I believe they said they're going to take it completely down, so we won't have tariffs on them. They won't have tariffs on us, as it should be. They're our biggest ally. And in terms of the EU, I hope most of the EU ends up coming around. I hope they start having more of US ideals again and stop going communist, as they seem to be. And we'll start to see other countries have to come negotiate with us. We were talking about Germany yesterday. If they're not able to sell their cars here and stuff like that, their country's going to have a hard time. And yeah, that's kind of my main thoughts on it.
Yeah, like Emil said, we are in the power seat. I would like to see negotiations with all these countries that bring tariffs closer to zero, which I think would be the best for everybody, even still for America. I hope that is the goal over time, except for with China. I think personally it's time to break China.
I agree.
China is an aggressive nation. They're aggressive towards Taiwan. They're aggressive in even South America, Cuba, Panama, which we know they are always talking about building up their military, being ready for war against us. And they are doing this on the back of the American economy, of the American consumer. Yes, it's something that we let happen. I don't blame China for taking advantage of us. They should be. But because of their posturing, it's time to end China. I would with these tariffs, price them out of our market, force U.S. companies to come home or find somewhere else to do manufacturing, delist them. The ultimate trump card would be to delist them off of our markets, get Chinese companies off of U.S. markets, and they're done for. They will be back on bicycles in 3 months. Yeah, it's the posture they've taken against us by using us and taking advantage of us. We've built China into our main adversary. And because of, like Emil was saying, medicine, AI chips, all our phones, all these different technologies that also play right into our national defense. Like we cannot, we've given them too much power over us and our economy. It's time to just negotiate with everybody else, end China. Make China irrelevant.
Not just economic wise, they also go after us. Think about COVID. That came out of a Wuhan lab. that didn't come from a bat or anything like that. That was bio-made.
Right.
Military presence, they don't actually compete with us on a military presence.
They're
but
getting there.
If any country comes close, it would be China.
Yep.
And there's too many reasons, even outside of economics, that they have to go, I think.
Right. And there's 100 countries that we could replace China with. There's only one U.S. economy. And if China loses access to that, they're done for. Also in the news, Emil, this past week, there was both sides had marches. The left had their anti-Trump, anti-Elon marches, and the right had their fighting for the preborn marches that I was at. And real quick on this, you've been to some with me. Real quick on this, I can't stand these people. I want to beat these people at all costs. They are the most annoying, ignorant people I've ever seen. But every time I go to these marches, there's a big part of me that sees a fatherless, godless generation. These people they're completely lost. You could tell this is not a logical place they've came to. It's a mental illness. They are exactly and sound exactly what you would expect from a fatherless, godless generation. And as bad as part of me wants to beat them at all costs, there's a part of me that truly, truly feels bad for these people. Emil, you've been to some of these with me now, young age. I know your perspectives. These are the only leftists you've ever seen. I remember a time where there was actually some sense in the Democrat Party. You've never seen that time. Do you get that when you've been with me to these things? Do you kind of get that same feeling?
Yes, I think this is actually one of the main difference of when Republicans and Democrats go to protest. When Republicans go to protest, it feels like you don't see a change from the everyday American that you're seeing. Whereas I do think there are some sensible leftists. Their politics aren't sensible. But like they go to walk, they kind of do everything normal, they're not really weird. But the leftists that end up going to these protests, who like really care, they are like nuts.
Yeah.
And you can really tell. They're everything their party makes them out to be.
Yeah. Yeah. They're sad. They're sad to see. Also in the news, Emil, I got a question for you. My one question for this administration, and I know it's early. One of the things that is bothering me the most, we know Nancy Pelosi and other powers that be set up January 6th. We know both the people that tried to kill Trump did not act alone. We know this. We know of the Diddy parties. We know of money laundering in our government has been exposed 100 times over with Doge. We know the 2020 election was stolen. This is the Biden family with the 17 LLCs that don't produce anything except money laundering. We know of all these things. Why is no one going to jail yet? Does it bother you? Do you still have confidence that there will be accountability? Like I said, it's early. Do you still have confidence there will be accountability?
Yes to the last question.
Okay.
I do think there's still going to be accountability somewhere. But it also bothers me that it hasn't started to take place yet. Honestly, it bothers me that people aren't getting like tarred and feathered in the streets for some of the stuff that's being mentioned. I feel like if this was any other generation, if this was the early 1900s, the 1800s, or the 1700s during the Revolution, people couldn't get away with this. It come out in the news and just go around walking in public. Like, they'd have to be scared for some of the stuff that's coming out.
Right.
And they all act normal. The
Too
fact
comfortable.
that Diddy
Yep.
isn't in jail, dead right now.
I think he is in jail. He's being held.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's being held.
Right.
But
Still.
the people on his list, the people that we know are associated
Epstein
with
list.
him, the Epstein list, obviously. There's so much with that's terrible. And in terms of the actual politics, like you were talking about Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, I still think they should actively make a push to go after those people and get them in jail. They were treasonous to our country. But I do understand Trump doesn't just want to go in there and seem totally authoritarian and get rid of the opposing party. I think he's scared of coming across with that look. So I think he's trying to go about it from a more tactical approach. I just hope he makes that tactical approach a bit quicker than he is.
I think there's a way around that. The first two people you go after are
Republicans. Yeah.
There's Mitch McConnell, Bolton. There's Republicans we know that have been involved in it too.
Yeah.
Go after them first. The only thing that scares me, and I always say this administration is different. Trump is different. I have more hope now than ever. However, it's still the Republican Party. And nothing will let you down harder than the Republican Party.
I have something I want to add on to that. The thing Republicans let me down the absolute most, at least what I've seen of the two administrations I got to see in my lifetime, is the way that they pass budget bills. And if you're watching the news right now, they have an upcoming budget bill that's about to get passed.
Hopefully.
And some of it's good. I still don't see why Republicans like big spending so much. I love the tax cuts that are going to be in this. Yep. I think it's great.
There is some budget cuts, but they're going to disappoint you. They'll disappoint you.
Yeah, if you're even a little bit libertarian, you're still going to look at this and be like, this does not solve the problem at all. And I think there was only one Republican that actively stood against it in the entire House, and that was Thomas Massie. Because he was like, why are we spending so much? He was like, we can do the tax cuts and spend less.
Don't do it to us again, Republicans. Come on, man. If you guys don't come through in this administration, with this leadership, we have... I mean, I've already lost faith in the Republican Party for the first time in generations, like in a long time. I have hope. If you lose us here, I think we're done in a lot of ways. Fake sponsor this half hour. Emil, I didn't know if you knew this. Right now, we have decided to start another company. We're going to call it Beijing Bikes. 100% made in America bicycles that when we destroy China's economy, we will be shipping to China with 800% tariffs. Beijing Bikes by Daniel and Emil, fake sponsor this half hour. Capitalist pig part. This could be about tariffs. This could be about COVID. This could be about depressions. This could be about wars. I want to make this a big picture. Not about any specific time, even though we're going through it now with the tariff stuff. If there is not a massive nuclear war, some kind of God-willed natural disaster, a complete collapse of America because of the debt, barring very few catastrophic things that you won't care about your money anyway if they happen, barring very few things, the American stock market and the American economy is very resilient. It is by far the best in history, by far the best in the world. No, we're not perfect by a long shot. Things could be better, obviously. We talk about it all the time. But any dip in these markets is a chance for you to retire, a chance for you to get rich, a chance for you to change your life. the saying, look at it through the history of the American Stock Exchange. Buy the fear. As long as you yourself don't panic, it always works out. Buy the fear, no matter the situation. You know, of course, we have a lot of fears. There's a lot of socialism creeping into our free markets. We got AI coming up. You know, yes, the world's militaries are catching up with us, but we are living in a nation in a time where 20 years ago, we were using AOL. Now everyone has the whole world knowledge in their palm. And we're about to take that to a whole nother level with AI. The kind of things we're going to see cured, the kind of things we're going to be seeing for the first time. We are about to come into a miraculous time in the history of the world. Emil and his children are going to experience an American economy that is worth, I don't even know, but I think I heard now it's worth like 40 trillion almost. They're going to be living in a country that's worth 200 trillion something dollars, with the craziest technology, with people like Elon Musk and all these other geniuses, with the most creative geniuses from around the world that want to be here. Maybe a country that's bringing Made in America back at this time with all this new technology and advancement. I mean, don't fear anything when it comes to investing, and don't fear anything when it comes to America and the future of America. I know the news makes it sound bad. Sometimes we even make it sound bad because we like to point out the bad, of course. Like I said, nothing's perfect. But man, we are going to see, even people my age over the next 20 years are going to see some crazy things. The kind of things Emil's going to see and the kind of thing his kids are going to see. Like I said, barring something absolutely catastrophic, man, the future for America is, the present for America is huge, and the future for America is, it's unbelievable. I mean, it is unbelievable. We have all these fears of things, technologies, social media, AI, but somehow all these things that we fear end up being amazing tools for God, amazing tools for good. Get on your social media now that 10 years, 5 years ago, we said would end the world. And every post, every reel, everything you see is God. And it's bringing godly people together across the world. All these things we fear, don't fear. God uses things for his good. These things will work out great for America. Do we have to be careful? Of course. Is there human nature involved? Of course. But don't fear. Don't fear. And from a capitalist standpoint, buy the fear. Always buy the fear. America it's absolutely amazing, and we are in an absolutely amazing time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, if you look through the course of history, the markets rise overall, which, if you look at the markets right now, along with the stuff that he was saying, what is there to fear? The dip has already happened. Maybe it falls a little bit more, but it's not about catching the absolute bottom. It's about getting in at a great price point. Mm-hmm. And we're currently sitting at a great price point. Even if the Dow drops another 3K, you're still in at a great price point, because soon the markets are going to rise back to the levels they were, and you could make a great return. I just bought more Nvidia. I believe you bought more Nvidia and Amazon.
And Walmart.
And
NewScale. I went shopping.
Yeah.
I went shopping.
Just buy stocks that you think are going to do good in the long run, and you're going to do well in the long run.
Kodak.
It's easy as that.
Kodak. If we're bringing medicine, if bringing, at some point, bringing medicine back to America is going to be a big deal, Kodak. Yes, Eastman Kodak is going to be a part of that.
The only thing I would say, I would probably only be buying American companies right now.
Oh, yes.
Or companies that are very heavily tied with America, because buying a Chinese stock right now is probably going to doom your retirement.
And even though the name sounds Chinese, Beijing Bikes is an American company. IPO coming soon. Life a meal. April's coming up. April's always been a big month in our families. We got birthdays. Our Yea's birthday's in April, even though she's gone. We still celebrate it like she's here with us. She's here with us, but we still celebrate it. We, of course, got the greatest, maybe some of the greatest weather throughout the year. We got Easter, Passover, which in our family we see the two as one. Just April. Enjoy April. It is an amazing month. We got we're doing Passover at our house this year. Probably going to take next week off, which is hard to take a whole week off, but we're going to try as best as we can.
Dallas's birthday coming up.
We got a birthday coming up with like 20 something kids coming and a bounce house, and I'm going to find an excuse not to be here, but they should have fun. They'll probably have fun. So enjoy April, enjoy spring. It's going to be awesome. Listen, support like-minded people, support conservatives on social media, on media in general, on your businesses, conservative businesses, local businesses. Just support each other. Find our page on Facebook, YouTube, True Social, all these things. Support the New American Liberty League. That last episode got 21 views, so that's catching fire any second now. And listen, America's in a great place. Don't fear. Never fear. America's God-given. It's absolutely blessed, and it will stay that way. And we are the New American Liberty League.
Saving the Republic, one listener at a time.
6'9". I think that was a good show.
Yeah.
Seemed quick.
Seemed quick.
27 minutes.